Okay guys, so today we're going to go over some key terms for the topic of area and perimeter of polygons, benchmark G.2.5. So before we get into the problems, we're just going to go over some vocabulary first. So the first term that we want to go over is area. So the definition of area is the number of square units a figure covers. So as you can see in the figure, I have a polygon. And in this polygon, we have several boxes identified. So each box is represented as one unit. So if we count the amount of units that we have in the box, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 units represented in the box. So as you can see, if each one unit is represented as one square unit, then we have 16 square units within the box. So that means that my area of this is equal to 16 units squared. So, is there another way that we can find the area of this figure? There is. If we look at our reference sheet, we can find the formulas for the area of polygons and other figures on our reference sheet. So, under the term of parallelogram is also identified as any quadrilateral that we can use that has two sets of parallel sides. So, as you can see in the figure that we had before, we have two sets of parallel sides. So we can use this formula, A equals BH, as our formula to find the area. So if we're using A equals BH, we have our base, which is represented as 1, 2, 3, 4 units. And we have our height, 1, 2, 3, 4 units. And all we have to do is plug that in. So we have A equals 4 times 4, and that gives us 16 square units. So either way, we can use the same method to find the amount of square units that's within this figure. However, when you have your test, more than likely you will not have boxes representing your units, so be sure to reference your reference sheet under where it says area, and you have several figures here that you can choose from to use. Just as a note, units could be in inches, feet, yards, or etc. So whichever units that are being used, just make sure you are identifying the type in the problem. Okay, so the next term that we're going to look at is perimeter. So the definition of perimeter is the distance around a two-dimensional figure. So I have a figure here, and this figure is a rectangle. How do I know it's a rectangle? Well, let's think back to the properties of a rectangle. A rectangle, of course, has 4 sides, so it's a quadrilateral. And we know we have 2 pairs of parallel sides and 2 pairs of congruent sides. So if this is 7 feet, the opposite side is 7. We have 5 feet here, so the opposite side is 5. So we know that our measurements are equal. So to find the perimeter of a rectangle, all we have to do is add up the sides. So I have my perimeters equal to 5 plus 5 plus 7 plus 7. So I have 5 plus 5 is 10, 7 plus 7, 14. So my total perimeter would be 24 feet. The last vocabulary word we're going to go over is circumference. So with circumference, it's pretty similar to perimeter. The only difference is with circumference, it deals with the distance around a circle. So given the circle that we have here, the information that's given is the radius. So remember, the radius is any point from the center of the circle to one point on the circle. So in this example we have here, we have our radius as being 3 inches. So if we wanted to find the circumference of our circle, we can reference our reference sheet. And as you can see on our reference sheet under where it says circumference, we have 2 formulas that we can choose from. The first one is C equals pi d, where d refers to the diameter of the circle. Or we have C equals 2 pi r, where r refers to the radius of the circle. If you are unsure of what the letters stand for, remember you can refer to your key, which is located right above it. So because we have the radius given in our problem, we're going to use the formula C equals 2 pi r to find our circumference. So, given the radius is 3 inches, we're going to plug that into our formula, where 3 is represented as r, and we're going to go ahead and multiply out. So we have 2 times 3, which gives us 6, and then our circumference would be 6 pi. So that is our exact answer for the circumference of the circle. But if we were asked to approximate, we would use pi as 3.14. So if I wanted to use pi as 3.14, I would come to my calculator and input 3.14 as pi and multiply that by 6. And that gives me 18.84 inches. And that is my approximate answer. So this concludes all of the vocabulary words that we have for area and perimeter, the polygons, benchmark G.2.5.